So we're doing 2 replays for Jaycob. I think it was 37 or 3800. So I'm just tapping out to check on something. Hey, he's here. He's here. That's what I was just checking to see. The Jacobs would be in the chat. Is this a build you did that's new? Jacob's just saying that these random banes. The opponent. Don't you dare jump on my desk, cat. So when do we see this? I think before I get to this, the biggest red flag for you should be if you get to their natural and they don't have a natural, you are getting Ling Baned all in with speed. I think that's like almost a guarantee. All right, because there's no reason for them not to have a natural at 2 minutes. First set of lings, you should be on. You should be like, oh shit, and saving your lava, which is a problem because you just made an overlord. Is this overlord recommended? Or like, because I don't feel like this is super necessary if you've got this about to pop. So if this goes down on time and this goes down on time, is this a little late? This is a lot late. Why is the hatch so late? What did you do? Nah, I would stop doing that. Especially in ZvZ because if at 2 minutes you're supposed to get a supply boost from the hatchery, right? And that's enough to get you to survive whatever's coming. Basically, it's just enough supply there for you to survive it. Then that's all you need. Whereas like having an extra set of lings would probably be a lot more useful. So again, this hatchery. You just built too many drones here, I think. I don't know, what happened here? What happened at the start? I obviously missed something. I thought this was standard, maybe it wasn't. Two drones? I think that's it. I know you built 2 drones. I don't think you needed to build the 3rd drone. It's just 2 drones, right? I think it's 2 drones and 1 goes out, isn't it? I don't know, dude. Either way, this is so late. This should be down at like, the latest is like 49 seconds, I think. 49 seconds will get you the hatchery up at... the pool's a second late, but that's neither here nor there. But, yeah. So you see this, you should be trying to save your lava. So I'm really hoping that you at least... Did you catch this on the map at all? On the... Did you catch... Yeah, you got it on the mini. So you saw this with your eyes like mid-game. Oh, you're actually looking at it right now, which is cool. Yeah. You actually saw it. So, no... So even when you get to like here, you can see that there's no creep, right? His creep should be like here-ish. So you should know now that there's no hatch unless the hatch is coming down and he's like doing it super late. But we've got the 1 lava. We're about to have another lava pop. Beautiful. You could, with the amount of money you've got, I mean, maybe it might be worth it. And he's pretty committed too, right? He's not bothering to build. He can't afford it. He's not trying to build another hatchery at all. You might be able to get away with like making a couple of spines because a couple of spines will shut this down. They might even buy you time because you got a lot of money here. And I think maybe it wasn't you, maybe it was someone else. Um, but I think a couple of the GMs commented as well that you're better off making the queen than not, because even if the queen comes out, it adds DPS, it adds anchoring. Um, yeah, if they have no hatchery, you are getting Ling Baned all in. This is what's happening. This is what's going to happen. I would almost bet money that every time you get to here on the map and you see no creep and then you see no hatch, you go back into the replay and this is exactly what they're doing every single game. Spines aren't super great, but there's only so much like lings he can make off a single hatch with a queen. You know what I mean? And so this is designed to pressure you a little bit and to get you to bring down your drones, which you are doing, which is the play, right? But I think it was you, right? We spoke about how you handled this last time. And so this queen started super late too, which like both of these queens on a this one no. Yeah, but I guess that's probably all right considering the hatch was late too, but like you could build spines here, but this is a problem, right? You just can't fight this. And now all your drones are like one hit from dying. It's just GG. I think if you make a hatch, you'll be. I mean, if you make spines, you'll be fine because none of this is happening super fast, right? He hasn't even got speed yet. Like speed's about to kick over. So having a couple of spines here, or even if you built them here and were able to move them down, just gives you something to punch these banelings. It's literally like a handful of like slow zerglings. If you spend like 400 to 500 resources just like anchoring your position with either queens or some spines, I'd say you're in a pretty good spot, legitimately, because he has no economy behind this, and all you need to do is come out of this with more drones, which you probably could have. But yeah, I think so. Just two queens, two spines, and then like lings for the rest of it. Lings will like obviously lings will try and come down here and try and get rid of his lings, but the slow banelings aren't going to do a whole lot. The fact that he didn't is he gonna build a queen? He was very quick with the queen actually. Um, yeah, but having this late as well. I remember we talked about last time. Is like this doesn't have any armor until it's alive, and so we're gonna lose like a good 7, 8 seconds, 9 seconds of copping damage, more than we should have. I reckon like you probably could do one or two here, and then one here to kind of defend these two. I think I've seen some videos from like Scarlet or someone like that that's mentioned like you want here one's kind of here to anchor, because all you really want to do is just stop the Banes getting in, right? Because your lings can't engage his lings. You don't have speed either. I mean, your lings can't engage his Banes. So all you really need is something that can pick off um, the banelings from a safe distance. So yeah, I would probably do one here and one here, and that way, if the lings want to try and come to this one, that one's going to give it back up, and you're killing a ling every basically like every 1.3 seconds or however long a spine takes. So I would have probably brought this all back. So you've scared him off here, right? You've saved him. He's not doing any damage to the hatchery, right? That's a win. Okay? And this is another reason why my second overlord likes to sit here. So my first overlord, if you watch any of my ZvZs, it's only in ZvZ I do it. First overlord beelines to their natural, unless it's a map where it has to go like this. What's that one? Torches or whatever, where like it's got a kind of weird path. If you beeline across, you will miss every kind of ling pool or drone pool or whatever, like 12 pool. And my second one always heads to here because this is where they want to make the Banes. If they make the Banes this far away to avoid the Overlord, that buys me extra time. But they want to make it somewhere where obviously you can't see it, and now it's a huge surprise. And that's exactly what this is. So you've scared him off here. Remember, the idea here isn't to engage this. The idea here is to scare him off. Every second that he's not attacking this is more time that you have to spend your money to defend yourself. Right? So that's perfect. So that's what we did. We pulled back. But then, like, we saw the Banes and we were just like, you know what, fuck it. You could just keep pulling. You could try and bring your drones around here and try and get rid of these. The idea is keep your eyes glued to these banelings and try not to let these connect on anything at all. But that's a huge hit. And then when these finish, they're going to come here in here and probably absolutely annihilate you. Yep, so at my level, I actually haven't seen this for a while, but I'm also kind of I'm aggressive, but this comes before my aggression too. But also because I open like 15-15 or 14-14 or 16-14 or whatever silly thing I open up, all my stuff is. I'm surprised that you've never seen this before. This happens. This used to happen to me quite a lot in like mid diamond, and now no one does it. It's just everyone's decided that this isn't good. So what you see here, right, is got just a bunch of lings. The spine's not going to help, right? And you're bunching up all your drones. Yeah, like you could have built. You could have pulled back this and put an evo chamber here, and then put an evo chamber here, and that helps funnel the banelings around, or they can explode on the evo chamber to get in. But he is also, you know what I mean. This isn't super high pressure. It's literally. Oh, you did? Did you? Yeah. Nah. He cleaned you up. You're on one drone. Yeah. So this is an issue because like obviously these connections here weren't good. I think this is just if you've never seen this before, then fair cop. This is an insane timing, and it's like obviously very problematic. But this is exactly why this. Yeah. So if this Overlord was here, he wouldn't have morphed those Banes there, or if he did, you would know exactly what is going on. I know it's odd, but all it needs to do is like if those first two Banes catch you off guard like they did here, that's it. He can take a hatchery behind this, and he's got lings. He's got lings with speed way before you, so he can run circles around all your lings. So your lings need to be in bigger number to win fights, and they also need to catch him, which you can't do, right? Because you're not going to have speed for ages. Because of all this pressure and all this ugliness of the game, there's no way you're going to have speed in time. I'm just curious. Can you start a? Can you? So say, can I take command here if I'm by myself? So you get there, you see no. Like that's a lot of spines. And if he gets this, he's still kind of really all in. You know what I mean? Like, but this might give you an anchor up here. Once these are done, it might just give you the time. But yeah, not seeing any creep is a huge giveaway. If there's no hatchery, again, like I would heavily bet that this is exactly what's happening. So keep an eye out. Um, should I spine with every 12 pull? As in when you're getting 12 pull? I don't think so because it's not always worth it. Because if they just send the lings home, your spine's worth nothing now. You know what I mean? Like you've spent two drones worth of money on the spine, and then you've lost the drone by making the spine. It takes so long to finish that they can just like get damage done anyway, and then just get out before the spine can actually do anything. So I would actually not really bother with that. I don't think it's worth it. But in that case with the Banes, I think that's kind of a different story. That's rough. Wait, what's going on here? ley lines. Pylon LE. There we go. Yeah. So just keep that in the back of your mind. If that does ever happen again. Oh, it's the same. Is the same dude twice? Or did I just pick the wrong replay? No, it's the same replay. Yeah, hopefully that makes sense. But yeah, if there's no hatchery, there's no reason. The only other thing could be is like he has taken a. Oh really? Same guy 3 times. Oh no, this is a ZvT. Did he do the same thing 3 times in a row? Yeah, so 12 pull without the committing of the Banes, because the Banes is super all in, you know what I mean? Like it's 11 drones on mining, 2 drones in the gas. And again, those first Banes, if they don't really get big connections, he can almost struggle to overpower you with just Queenling. And you've got an Overlord there. You can see if he tries to take a natural right. So you know if he's not taking a natural, he's kind of dead. Like there's not really a lot he can do as like a one base Zerg with no economy. So they kind of usually fizzle themselves out. If they do that kind of Lingbane all in and it doesn't get huge damage, I think most of the time they tap out. If they know better, if they know well enough, they'll just tap out. Um, so yeah, but like just keep an eye out for that hatchery. There's no reason unless like he takes a ninja base, which in ZvZ is super dangerous anyway. So this hatchery is going to finish close to the time. We're still... Whatever you're doing, you need to stop building that many drones. You need to stop a drone early. Because this really should be up at 2 minutes. Because the other thing as well, I know you've got this Overlord here, but if you get... if they're proxying down here or something and they're going to march up and start building bunkers in your thing, these extra like 5-6 seconds can make a big difference. I'm not too good with what the standard is, to be honest with you, but I know that this needs to be down and it needs to be finished at 2 minutes. We've got gas for speed. Alright, so no, oh no, it is a Reaper, sorry. What's going on here? Oh, we don't need to do this. You're going to lose all these lings for nothing. Yours are going down 51 seconds, really? I don't recall ever having a hatch go down at that time. Yeah, you're only like 3 seconds late, but I've always thought that it was like 49 was the latest that hatchery should go down. You're doing 13 Overlord and then standard, yeah? It's 2 minutes they pop up because the pool is 46 seconds. It goes down at 1 minute 14 every single game, right? And it pops at the same time 2 minutes as the hatchery. I think this is just wrong. Who's posted this? I don't know who posted this, but this is wrong. I'm 100% sure of this. The whole point of this is that the hatch and the spawning pool always go down together. So if your hatch is off like 8 seconds, again, you cop more damage. You don't have creep spread as quickly. You lose lava. You've lost 1 lava by not having the hatchery down on time as well. Nah, that's not right. Wait. Yeah. So 13, I might give that a shot after and see if maybe it's about positioning or something. I don't know. But there should be no reason. You're not normally one to get the hatchery that early, are you? I don't believe so. We're mad supply capped. So with the supply cap we've just got, we're already floating a bunch of lava. You've got 2 overlords coming. I would probably build 1 more overlord. Oh, which you are. Yeah, 1 more overlord, and then I would be queuing queens already to get ready. We also want drones back on here at 320. So are you a supply? That supplies how you check what you're doing. So the danger here is you have no idea. Like, you saw the Hellions, right? But the Overlord should be in a position where it can see that. This Overlord here, he's going out. This one's going out. But they... Wait, you've got that one and that one. I guess because you've taken this hatchery, but... I guess that's kind of the danger of taking that hatchery, is you can't really watch this as easily. Because one Overlord would watch this, and then that kind of watches that. You could even have a queen here to help out. But I feel like if he dives right now with the 4 Hellions, you're in big trouble. And so your speed should be done at 4 minutes too. So these are huge things, right? What if this Terran was like, I'm going to go double factory, 1 base, double factory, blue Hellion, and just cross the map? You've got no chance. Not even Hellbats, just literally like blue flame Hellion, or even just like 6 Hellions. Like, he's not even poking as hard as he could be, because you've got no chance of catching him while link speed is 45 seconds late, 46, 40. Link speed is 50 seconds late. That's a good catch. Take that and drone. 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 Yes. Alright. A defensive Banshee as well. Like, this is the other thing, right? We had no spores. It's good that we have drones. And we haven't really lost a lot, right? We've lost fuck all. I like the base here. And the dive in. But all this stuff is like a little bit too late, right? If this was a BC time, if this was a double BC, you're already in trouble, because, yeah, the Banshee never comes out because he can't handle it. So lucky for you, he's not confident enough to do that. But you know what I mean? If this was a player who was confident enough to do that, he is going to absolutely clean your drones up, because he could have like 2 Banshees out on your side of the map well and truly now, with Hellions trying to clean up. Him diving into here, that was good for you, honestly. Double BC at 6:30, exactly. Double BC at 6:30. So 30 seconds from now, 2 BCs rock up, you just die. You're just straight up dead. You have like, what, 4 queens, 5 queens? They don't do anything to double BC. They barely even tickle them. He's floating so much money as well. Sorry, let's look at you. If you've got an army and you cross the map and you're happy to cross the map, then yeah, you can beat double BC. But you still need to like solidify yourself with spores or whatever. Look at the supply difference. I like your drone count, and I love your vision too. You're actually better at this than I am. Were they rallied over here, or did you like click them out and send them over here? First drops coming in. I love the vision here. I'm loving the ring of vision everywhere. I would just love to see like 1 here, or maybe here. Rally from spawn, that's good. That's easy, right? We can just like press on a hatch and 1 SZ, 1 SZ, and bang, bang, bang. We've got vision of everything. So, yeah, we've got enough stuff here. We can push this away. We don't want to chase it that far off creep. This is why, right? And so when we get to this stage in the game, we probably do want creep to the edge as far as we can, and spores to stop this exactly this bullshit from happening. Oh, he's not going to unload. This is some mass roach, man. This is some real mass roach. Do you know what else would be really good here? Like literally a handful of Ravages. And 100% you can bust this. This is a tank and some Marines. A tank and some Marines. This is like a single player. This is like a campaign mission right now. What he has. You know what I mean? But you don't want to be running into 2 tanks and 40 Marines worth of damage at once. You kind of want to space it out by running up. You bile down the tank. Where's the... You got changelings? Oh, that's unlucky. Beautiful. The thing is, though, yeah, roaches just can't compete, and this is 1-1. Are you... You're 1-1 as well, though. Wow, well done. With your economy the way it is, I think maybe you just need more lings. You've got this space. I think everything's going well for you for the most part. That was a huge amount of roaches to lose, though. Yeah, bile first. Go in and, like, bile down the tanks if you can, and then come back in and, like, just walk on top of the Marines. The thing is, like, a group of Marines cannot fight if the roaches are literally surrounding them. They have to pick up. And when they pick up, they can't do damage anymore. And then you have free reign. So if I was to walk into here and bile down this tank, and I had enough roaches that I looked at this and I was like, you know what, whatever. I don't. I either try and just, like, hold C and go 1 minute like that. So, like, quickly flick my mouse over so I can go 1 2 3 1 2 3. Sometimes it doesn't work and I get 2 on and I get 1 in the middle somewhere, whatever. But you could always just do like CCC. But you've also got to be careful of, like, then issuing a second command, because if you CCC and then move away, it's obviously going to do the move command first. I think honestly just practicing it over and over again against, like, literally like a handful of bio and a tank in in unit tester or something might help a lot. But yeah, so if this was this amount of Marines unsupported, would have absolutely died to that amount of roaches that you had. 100% of the time. And if their composition is... Why is he stimming? Oh my god. He's got bloodlust for sure. Don't fight the tanks. Don't fight in tank range unless you think you can take it. And I think... Yeah, that's it. Yeah, he leaves it. He stims and then, like, doesn't get the OV. How's he see it? Oh, it's a lot of work. Like, that stim, they had to walk all the way around here. You know what I love versus this? Is just, like, literally, like, 2 infestors. So here, we get up, we see that there's tanks. We don't fight in tank range. We could take that tank and then move back, right? Because now we're fighting in tank range again. And the bio, like, I think it's heavily underestimated just how good bio is. I think the best rule of thumb is to just literally not fight in tank range. If you can avoid it, and that's why, like, having, like, a small squad of Ravagers is really good, right? Because you could have taken that fight, biled down the tank, and then left. Oh, you mean if you like if you're fleeing, like if you're running away, but you're running away out of tank range, you know what I mean? Like, and just you kind of pushed into tank range, killed the tank and killed some Marines, and then pushed into another tank. The amount of damage that bio's doing, it was literally only a handful, but it's so painful. Your injects are still... No, we've missed a lot of injects here, and we've Probably haven't missed any here. Not having our injects going right now is really painful. Alright, so he shows us what he has. I would probably pull back now, spend the lava. Because you're copying a lot of damage here. Actually, you've got this. You've got this. That's a good fight then. That's a good fight. Don't push your luck. And just spend lava. What's your gas income? Oh, the gas income's not bad, but we're making hydras, which are really expensive, obviously. We see this. So when you're at this stage, right, the pressure's on, you're already being attacked. I feel like the easiest way going forward is to, you're obviously very gas starved too, right? But the easiest way going forward is to, and you would have been able to afford, nah, I'm going to watch this fight. You would have been able to afford these upgrades had you not just rushed into tons of Hydra straight off the back of that attack as well. Straight off the back of those roaches, you were just like, I need all the Hydra in the world. And that's, each one of those Hydras is like, each one of those Hydras is 50 gas. It adds up really quick. I think you've probably lost like 20 or 30 Hydra already. It's a lot of gas, dude. Do you think you could go over here? Oh no. Nah, see, this is what he wants, right? This wasn't, again, this wasn't bad. If you can just outnumber them enough, hell yeah, brother. But then here comes a little bit of reinforcements, and now it's not so good of a fight. In this moment, is there a reason that we didn't just spend all of this lava? Why are we not just holding down the key until there is nothing left? Because 15 roaches is a lot different to 25 roaches. And this Terran's like, he's doing a pretty good job, but also your economy has been... But even Lings, right? If you get Lings surrounding this, because you've got some upgrades as well, right? He's 2-2, but you're 1-2. If you get Lings surrounding this, then the Hydras will absolutely pick them off, right? And again, then the siege tanks will also hit the Lings, which will hit the Marauders. It'll hit the Marines. Just make Lings. You're in survival, right? You're in survival state. He is pressuring you. You need to fucking push the key that makes the units that make him die. And that's everything at this stage. Like, unless you literally don't have link speed, which you do have link speed, there is no excuse to just... I don't feel like there's ever... Unless, like, his army is pure Hellbat or something ridiculous, right? I don't feel like there's ever a reason to be like, I wanted to wait for better units. Because now his economy, he's taken his 5th base, his economy's out of control, and what's going to happen, this happens to me as well all the time, once the Terran has you in this defensive posture, where you can't get map control and you can't threaten him, he's welcome to just take whatever fucking base he wants, throw down a couple of planetaries, and now the game becomes like a 45-minute battle to the death. And so that's why the whole idea of like surviving for Zergs is just getting to a nice count, a nice unit count, a nice drone count, and then just going. I love that you picked off the... Please. Yes. I love that. The reason we want to pick off the medevacs is obviously we don't get healing anymore. It reduces mobility. It stops the ability for him to do doom drops and stuff. This is still probably a good fight. Absolutely. Yeah, we got the roach, the flanking roach. He's coming in. He's not going to get it. But he did his job, right? He took splash damage away that could have been killing these. So yeah, absolutely kill the medevacs when you can. Killing the medevacs, you reduce their mobility, reduce healing, obviously. But it also means that if you can get a surround, and that's when Lings can come in so strong. If you can get a surround on a group of Marines, they have nowhere to go now. They can't just pick up and fly away. And it also stops the late game lib tech switch, right? I don't know how many games you've played, but I played a lot of really hopeless feeling games where they just like mass liberate a tank, planetary turret. Is he smurfing? So if you keep the medevac count down, he can't transition to libs because he wants to. He has a bio force, right? He's been pumping all this work into upgrades for bio, He's not going to stop now. And so keeping his medevac count down means he can't transition, right? He can't safely go into Liberators without having some medevacs. And so right now he owns no medevacs. This is probably the perfect spot for you to actually just go crush him. Because what has he got? And we didn't do the changelings, remember? Because if you had the changelings right now, sitting like here and here, you could say, well, this army is literally just like, why is this even on the map? Yeah, see, he realized straight away. He's like, I have no business being on the map with 2 tanks and 2 marines. Right? He realizes that. And so if you get overseers, you get the changelings, you get one into here, you can follow him. So if you'd have seen this with the changeling, you could have literally come up here and crushed this before he even knew what was happening, and then you run away. You don't need to ever take a fight. Here we go. What's got me worried is we don't get... No, I think we'll get this. We will get this. But what's troubling... We don't want to... Yeah, all our reinforcements are pushing in, and these roaches and hydras, if they try and flee, they're going to go this way. Yeah, we got some units, and we killed the planetary. And then we got up here, and we're doing damage up here with literally a handful of lings, right? So you've done this. Your next step is to come up and do the same over here. And you just want to keep repeating that, right? Because now that he doesn't have a high medevac count, he can't abuse you by just floating around everywhere and picking off this and picking off that and coming back and picking off and flying away and blah, 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 blah. So the idea would be that now that you have what we call map control, you have map presence in that your army is better and stronger and bigger, so you get to determine where the fights get taken. More map vision would be great. We'd obviously love to have like creep spread against around half the map, but also like he has been doing a good job of like kicking it back and keeping you contained. So we change things as well. We would see this move out, and this move out to me reeks of desperation. But because we have no map vision, we're moving up to attack this and then get caught in the worst possible position. Now, if this was me, I think this is honestly worth going for this as long as you feel like you can hold the push before it comes here. With where you are right now, it's probably not a great idea, and this is why we want these changelings. Yeah. Take the base trade, right? It's 15 drones is a lot to lose, though, which is a real shame. But let him have the base. It's better than taking an absolutely god-awful fight, which is exactly what you would take against 4 tanks and a bunch of bio. So we don't want to take this fight as all. Oh, the drones. Oh, not as many drones probably get out as you thought they did. So all we're looking for now is to not fight him until he unsieges. Nah, we don't want to fight this until it unsieges. You might have enough anyway. Yeah, the little flank was good actually. Get on top of it. Yes, that's it. Get on top. Stutter step. Sick. No, you had enough. No. The flank was good actually. Literally just a handful of roaches, and it did so much work. And now you've got him on the run. So we want to take the base. As soon as the base is killed, the first thing we should be doing is take the base again. One of these was really poorly saturated, but it's sort of evened out. We've gotten to Hive. We need to be really aware. He's not dead because he has 5 bases. And it's so easy for you to overstep and kill yourself by trying to kill him. This is why we want to change things out, because you can keep an eye on him and you can be like, okay, he's dead. If you saw this army right now, if you had map hacks, which is exactly what changelings are, and saw this army, which is smaller than the one you just crushed, why would you be sitting back on your side of the map? And this is what I'm trying to get you to understand, is that I know dropping the changelings is really painful, but you can literally just like F2, mash the C button, and then just send them out onto the map somewhere. And here again, right, we could keep a tab on this. We could be like, okay, he's moving his army. You'll get there though. Keep trying it. Because every time I see these overseers flying around, they got energy. Boom, they're making changelings, man. They don't get a choice. What's really good though, in situations like this, is lurkers. Because if you set up just like 3 or 4 lurkers here with some spines or spores or whatever, the amount of work it's going to take for him to slowly siege that up and kill it is going to buy you so much time on his side of the map to kill him. Yeah, that's cool. He scans, he sees you've got absolutely fucking nothing there. I think you go for it. I think you go for the base. And look, some of your units are even walking past him to go have a look. What's this? Misclicked. Yeah, like I think four lurkers, 5 lurkers. I think you want enough lurkers that like if the Marines and the Marauders step onto it, you will just cleave a whole bunch of them. I think 2 is not enough. Ooh. Double control groups. Here we go. We caught him here. I probably should have done this a bit faster. We've got a lot of DPS here. Yes. So as soon as you... That's probably a good trigger for you as well, right? If you've got an army fighting an army and you can see your units getting kind of silly trying to... Yeah, it doesn't matter though, because you're doing damage, right? You don't have to be looking at both sides. You can't realistically, like, legitimately cannot watch 2 fights at a time. Yeah, that's all I do as well. Like, you're looking at the minimap for like heaps of blue, and if you see heaps of blue, turn around. Even here. Even this, right? Literally the Overseer here is taking DPS off these Marines. So instead of them getting into the fight, they were attacking the Overseer, which is now like 300 HP that they weren't doing to your Hydras. We're very close to this, but we're not going to get it. Now, yeah, this is a problem, right? We can't really run from stimmed Marines until we're on creep. That was a really bad fight. At the end, we overstepped into the... I think you don't want to... You just need to stop taking fights against planetaries unless they have no army near it and you have enough stuff that you can probably confidently just like walk in and 2-shot or 3-shot it. We've got lurkers now, but do we have... Nope. Because without these, they're not that good. We do have 2-2, which is nice. The lurkers did nothing, which is great. And then you sieged it in there. So the Vipers need to be with this army. You should Blinding Cloud here. Beautiful. Blinding Cloud here. You've got the energy for it. No, you don't. Oh. And you fought out of lurker range, right? So pretend lurkers are your siege tanks, right? If this little squabble of Marines fights in range of this, he can't sustain that, right? So you chose to fight out of range of him, out of range of your own defensive units. Does that make sense? Lurkers are slow. They're not attacking in units unless you have like 15 of them or something, and even then it's a risky move. But you need to fight in range of them. They're no good sitting back here when his army's here and you're fighting here. So once you realize the fight, like he did, right? Once his Marines start getting pummeled, he moves back to the next tank line, and then he would move back to the next tank line, and so on and so forth. And you need to treat lurkers the same way, where if your lurkers are here and his army's here, you shouldn't be fighting here unless the lurkers are getting damaged. The lurkers need value. And now we're really in trouble, aren't we? So the lurkers burrow. We could have... we Blinding Clouded, but a little bit too late. If you had like 4 or 5 lurkers there, that is GG. Oh my god. I can't believe you lost this. You ask this every game almost, don't you? You've gone into the spellcasters as well, but like... You've gone into the spellcasters and then like... haven't like really used them effectively. Like when we got into this fight here, you overstepped a lot, and that's kind of a big danger for a big danger when you fight Terran is that stimmed Marines outrun almost everything. So you need to know whether you're winning a fight before you decide to step into their territory pretty heavily, right? We get this, which is really good. We should be happy for that. But we need to ball up our army. So then, again, I think this was a good fight. I'm pretty confident because you got the rest of your Hydras coming up. And so you recognize that your units were getting silly. So you pulled back. Yeah, you got the range. And then this is it, right? This point here is like, okay, I've done what I need to do. Leave. Because we're at 21, 655 versus 8, 325. No, but there's always army, right? Terrans build Marines at an insane rate. That's a wild loss. Yeah, sunk cost fallacy. Because you're like, well, I'm already attacking it, so if I don't get it, it's worthless, right? But you lost. It was only... No, it was 17,000 resources. No? No, 1,700 resources. It's only like 8 Hydra or something. Repairs cost, I think it's like... to fully repair something, I think it costs like 25% of its overall cost. So to repair this from nothing to full health costs like, yeah, whatever, 25%. So I'm not going to do maths on stream. 75, 75. But it takes time. Obviously, with heaps of SCVs, it takes more time. But 22, this is some numbers for you, right? 22 SCVs can infinitely heal, what is it? 75, 350 damage a second. So if you have 20 Hydra hitting a planetary and it's being repaired by 22 SCVs, as the planetary starts killing Hydras, that's going to tip into the favor of the planetary. Unless you can start picking off SCVs, but that also means obviously getting closer to him. Yeah. I've actually had games as Terran where like literally like 7 Hydras have picked off a planetary because I refused to repair it because I thought, well, they're not going to actually kill it. But imagine my surprise when I go back to the base and it's gone and there's 1 Hydra left. And that's a good trade. Any Zerg would take that trade. So you've been ahead in economy for so long. We're denying this. I think we've got a lot of things in our favor. We're just kind of fumbling our fights a little bit too much. We're long range mining this when we have a base here. We have spare queens. Now, I think past the initial like 6 or 7 minutes, you can probably take spare queens and start dropping creep tumors at your furthest bases to give you just that little bit of safety, right? 3-3 would have been great because Terran's on 3-3 for sure. Queen drops are very unfortunate. So these here, same thing with the siege tanks, right? I'm going to keep going on about this because I think people need to understand how lurkers work. Lurkers are not fucking ultralisks. They can't just walk in and just demand respect. They need to be positioned. They need to be in the ground to do anything. We know this in theory, but we don't seem to action it very well. So here, if this was me, I'd be walking up here as soon as I saw that he was even close to range. Obviously, having these helps as well, right? Because it takes the... it halves the burrow time. You just go in the ground when you see him, like, within this kind of range. If they're half a screen away, you burrow them in the ground. Because what they're going to do is they're going to make sure that he can't come anywhere near here anymore. He's just done. And if he charges into it, you have these to just drop Blinding Cloud, and then he will literally, his units will just like A move. They won't even A move. They will just move straight into the lurkers and the roaches and the hydralisks and die. And I know it works well because I used to run just like pure hydralisk Viper for a very long time. And you'd be surprised what a handful of Blinding Clouds can do to a Terran that's not looking at his army. So the lurkers need to get burrowed first. They are your siege tanks. They are your anchor. Right? And so here, you could have picked this up and moved them down to here. The fact that you fought through like a fraction of your thing, we get to here, right? First tank shot, the first 2 tank shots, we should be like, okay, bye. This is it. Right, at this point right here, he in one shot, he's killed a Hydra and almost killed 2 more in literally one volley of siege tank fire. Ultras are good, but I feel like, I don't know, they also kind of get rounded up pretty bad by they get rounded off pretty bad like by just really good marine bio and marauder stuff. So yeah, that's really good. If you had a second Blinding Cloud right now, like on his army right now, you would have captured all this, and this would have been a win. I know, you're like, yeah, I know. But that's because this one used 2 Blinding Clouds here that were pretty shit, really. If this one had not wasted 2 Blinding Clouds here, you would have been great. So now that's only 2 lurkers. It's an easy cleanup. It loses a marauder. There, you lost like 150, 150, 300 resources. No, 600 resources? Or 300? 300 resources. For the Blinding Clouds, I like to try and use them when I know they're not looking. So maybe I do a run by, and then if I using changelings obviously, or if they're sitting on creep, if I know where their like little cluster of marines is, I will get their attention somewhere, and then I'll Blinding Cloud the marines, and then move the hydras into range. And what the marines will do is they can't attack, and they will literally like all 16 or whatever many marines will just run into the hydralisk gauntlet and evaporate. When they're not shooting back at range and they're just running full speed into something, especially the hydralisk, they evaporate. Yeah, but you want to kind of, you could also use it to, you could also use the Blinding Cloud. Um, you could also use the Blinding Cloud to prevent him from pushing forward, right? So if your lurkers were positioned here, and this fight wasn't going well, you could have Blinding Clouded here to prevent him from chasing, or like Blinding Clouded here instead to prevent him chasing you up the hill, and you could have saved some of your army. Yeah, it's really good for planetaries because you can actually get away with like just roaches walking up to a planetary and killing it. That's a really unfortunate game. A couple of changelings, and I feel like a couple of changelings, and your entire like, I don't know how to describe it. Your confidence changes knowing where their army is and knowing what bases they have and knowing what's at their bases. It changes so much. There is no more guesswork anymore. You can go, okay, he's got a tank and a planetary at a base. I can take that out. This base has like some bio. I can't take it out, so I'm not going to, but I want to keep an eye on this army. If I see it moving, I can track it down, blah, blah, blah. There's lots of little... Where's Hydralisk? Yeah. Just like that. Oh, the Marines need their combat shields and stuff. Actually, my bad. Honestly, they should just come with it. Let's try again. Not a good fight. Ah! Go from a really bad fight to a really good fight with one Viper. How many Marines was that? 40 Marines to 25 Hydra. That's like the only time you'll ever get a fight that good with it, unless like he's trying to attack up a ramp. And I think even then, oh no, they're gonna slaughter him. Oh, the Medivacs will give them vision actually. It's not so bad. Not so bad. But so that spells from the Viper are as good as fighting up a ramp for the Zerg. Huge difference. So if he's just chilling as well, right? You can lure him away. I do, but um, it really depends on the game. Like how the game is going. The Viper has some sick abilities. Um, so in a cluster like this, though, if I'm looking at this fight and I can see him, I'm like, this is a blinding cloud is way better here. I could parasitic bomb, but it's not going to really change much in the fight right now. So if he's heading towards me, his Marines will probably still kill me. Yeah, so they're really good for drops. Obviously, they're really good for drops. Anytime you can do um, abduct is kind of nice too sometimes because if they are playing this kind of like heavy bio drop style, and you've got like a group of Hydralisks like this, obviously you saw like what blinding cloud can do to a handful. Like not a handful. This is 40 Marines. Like this is not a joke. This is a lot of Marines, man. You know what I mean? Like I don't know how many Zerglings it would take to beat this. Um, so having like one or two Vipers with a squad of Hydralisks like this, you now know that you could probably take a decent fight against them if they just try to stim an A move. But also, if they try and pick up and fly away, you can just abduct them, and the Viper can chase them out of sight, um, and abduct them back to the Hydralisks. Marauders, not really. I don't think it really changes much from Marauders. I don't really have anything for them. They're not like they're good for roaches. They're good against roaches. Obviously, they're good at slowing units down and picking them off. But as for the most part, I haven't got anything special. I think just lings and like adrenal gland lings, and just having enough stuff. I think the crux of your issue is just taking slightly better fights and just making stuff like like every fight could be the last fight of the game, and you don't want to leave the game knowing that you didn't spend every resource you had because you're getting this like 75 drone economy. If you don't spend it, what's the point? And I know you wanted units that have gas, so take more gas. If that's what you really want to do, take more gases earlier. But having just a couple of clusters of lings in some of those fights would have done wonders because they eat tank shots. The tank shots splash the Marines, they splash the Marauders. They can actually get a flank on the tanks as well and kill them if the bio moves too far away. There's just a lot of reasons to have lings in there. I know they're not amazing against big bio clumps, but a lot of those fights were actually quite quite small groups of bio with tank support, if you know what I mean. So they weren't like a 50, 60 man bio blob with like 6 tanks and support. It was most of them were smallish kind of skirmishes, and both of you were kind of just having like ragtag groups of units fighting each other and back and forth, blah 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 blah. So it was less about these big armies, and I think just having like 30 lings with you, 30 lings, you could like surround a marine army, and then like if he comes to try to pick it up, boom, the medevacs are gone too. Huge difference. Anyway, I'm gonna probably maybe play a game or two and see if I can get into myself into masters. So that'll be it for this. I'll kill the recording here, and I'm just gonna see if I can get a couple of cheeky games in. You're obviously welcome to stay, Jacob, and have a look. But yeah, and I'll chuck this up on YouTube if you wanted to have a look later on.